Going through my first slide now, and I like to set the tone for any session that I'm taking and all of that. So one, Mr. Tolu, sorry, your name is there. Your name is the first name here. So on the first slide, I said Tolu walks into an enterprise and he meets the receptionist trying to type a document with a typewriter. He looks up at the calendar to check what calendar year it is. That's case study one. Then two, it's Abdul's first day at work. As he requested for handover notes, he was walked into a room with shelves of hard copy files. That's case study two. Then three, we have Chike. He's a creative designer. He went for an interview and he was asked why he should be given the job. And he said, but I know what my competitive edge is. I know what my unique advantage is. I use Corel Draw very well. That's case study three. And now, this brings me to this question. Look at yourself right now, based on the resources you have, you have in you, on the skills that you have. And if you were in any organization, if you were working for any organization and they had to let people go because maybe they needed to trim their expenditure, keep their overhead minimal and all of that, and they had to retain staff that are extremely relevant, do you think you would be let go or held on to? Please, in 2 minutes, I want you to answer me. I'll be let go, I'll be held on to, in the chat box. I don't need anybody to unmute, please. So if you're in any organization right now and they want to reduce their overhead, they think they are paying too much salaries, they think they are spending too much on operations, logistics, administration, and all of that, do you think that they will keep you as a staff of that organization or they will let you go? Okay, so I can see some things here. Oh, okay, all right. They are not about that. So basically, this question is to prep your mind and to help you assess your level right now with regards to employability in the future of work. So do you think you have the relevant skills and mindset required to be held on to in the digital workspace? So that's basically what we're going to be talking about. So now I talked about Tolu, who met a receptionist using typewriter to type a document. At this time and age, if you see a typewriter in an office, would you not scream? Because we are in the digital age, we are not in the analog space and era, right? So, and then, you have to work in an organization, you go there and you see, they just hand over shelves of files when they could have as well just handed over electronic file to you, maybe files in the cloud to say, okay, these are handover files. And then you have a creative designer who knows nothing but how to use Corel Draw at this time and age. So this is to give you an idea and prep your mind about what we know shouldn't happen in the workspace anymore and what our expectations are with regards to what is to come. So I'll be touching the future of work generally, critical skills for workforce, maximizing your quality for digital workspace, the evolution of careers, positioning for the future of work, and leveraging social media. So now, what's the future of work? According to McKinsey, the world of work is changing, which we all know, and right now artificial intelligence, automation, and robotics will make this shift as significant as the mechanization in prior generations of agriculture and manufacturing. So what do I mean by this? Without being told, I'm sure that if you're here right now and you work in any organization, because I believe that this topic is very important for people that are looking to develop and scale up in their career paths, as well as entrepreneurs, really. And I feel that if we do not clearly understand what this is about, we might at some point find ourselves at the position where we are not exactly adapting to the changes in the workspace and all of that. We will all agree that there's a big difference between the way we were working before COVID, and things have changed now that COVID has happened, now that COVID exists and all that. So I mean, before, if I'm sure that if Marble brand needed to do this, put together a conference like this before, we would have had to look for a hall, we would have had to get event planners and do stuff all over the place, fill it all full of like 100 people. But now we're having a conference on Zoom. You know, the Zoom space is a smaller room because the larger audience are viewing on Facebook, you know, on the social media platforms, and it means that people from all over the world, they could join to be a part of it. So the way that we're doing things have changed. So right now, whatever you're doing with regards to your business or your career and all of that, you need to first ask yourself that, okay, if automation takes over completely, will I still have a job? You know, that should be something that pops up in our minds often. So if automation completely takes over, will I still have a job? If no, what can I do? What can I do to upgrade my career, to upgrade my skills such that I am still relevant regardless of what happens in the future of, you know, in the future of work in my own industry? And there's no way we will talk about the future of work and we're not going to touch the digital workplace. And you know, if we talk about the digital workspace, it's basically the concept that businesses and organizations use digital transformation to align technology, employee management, and business processes such that they can improve their operations and meet their organizational goals. So the digital workspace is the post-pandemic era. And trust me, even if we did not experience COVID or any pandemic and all that, at some point we would still have shifted to that point where people have jobs but they are not going to the offices, and their jobs are on nothing but a laptop, and all they have to do is, you know, log in, use some software to track their productivity and all that. They are assigned their tasks and all that with some tools, really. You know, of course, it goes beyond that. So if we're talking about the future work space, the digital workspace, the future of work, it means that there are skills that are required, or there are skills that we're expected to have. We often have to sit on panels to interview people, or at some point we ourselves have gone out, you know, for job interviews, and you would realize that gone are those days that somebody will want to employ you and the only thing they are looking at is perhaps your resume or your qualification, your degree and all that. Now we are looking for critical skills. Do you have the ability to communicate and collaborate? Like, can you communicate effectively? Can you collaborate? Can you work together with a team efficiently? Then adaptability. Can you adapt? Like, can you go into an organization and blend in with the corporate culture such that you are still able to stay on top of your deliverables, such that if at some point they decide, look, this is not the way we're working now, okay, you guys are not using XY kind of laptops again, you are using blah blah kind of laptops, would you still be able to function if if things have to switch swiftly? Then 3, emotional intelligence. This is a skill that as an entrepreneur, as an intrapreneur, it is very important for you to have emotional intelligence. If you have emotional intelligence, it guides you on how best to relate with the people you work with your clients, with your prospects and all of that. You know, as an emotionally intelligent person, you are able to tell if your colleague that just walked in that is so cranky and edgy just had an experience, that has triggered their emotions and all of that. So it is emotional intelligence that will help you to relate better with clients, such that if a client walks in and is unnecessary, and is reacting a certain way, you're able to slow down and look beyond their actions and say, okay, well, it helps you to have mental objectivity regarding issues that happen around you. They could be personal issues, they could be issues that have to do with work or business. So emotional intelligence is very important. And I need to mention that of late, let me dash into the whole dragging around Gen Z, millennials and all of that. The reason why somebody would go online Sorry, please. Somebody is distracting this session. Could you please mute? And if the person is not muting, host, can you please mute the person, please, so that we limit the distractions as much as we can. Thank you. I think it's TechnoSpark ID. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so it's the lack of emotional intelligence that will make someone go online, especially somebody that knows that tomorrow is going to carry his resume and apply, in a company for a job. It's the lack of emotional intelligence that will make that person go online to go and drag organizations that probably in the future it would still carry his resume to say, look, guys, I need a job. So emotional intelligence is very key. It cannot be overemphasized. It is a topic on its own. So now, time management. A lot of times we interview people and they are saying, oh, I can work under pressure, I have the ability to multitask. Please, if you can't deliver it, don't promise it. Do not promise what you can't deliver on, because it's what you write in the resume or what you promise clients. When you tell clients that, oh yeah, you know what, that bag, I will deliver it in 6 hours. The theory is always different from the practical. And for time management, one of the things I always tell people is it is better to have like a task versus time template, or for your daily tasks. Like one of my bosses would say, when you have things to do, pen them down and arrange them in order of priority. It helps you to organize and reorganize yourself. So we're looking for people that can effectively manage time, people that can utilize their time efficiently and be productive. We don't want to hire the kind of people that when we give them jobs, they are full of excuses and they're always telling us, but I actually have a lot of things to do. Yes, we know you have a lot of things to do, but can you tell us what exactly you have done today? There is no way you talk about time management and you will not talk about productivity. Then curiosity and creativity. We want people that are curious. We don't want to build, in the future of work, we're not looking for a team of people that whatever the boss says, you just say, yes, sir, you just nod. We want you to ask people, okay, why? Okay, but I feel that if we do it this other way, we might get XYZ results. As long as you are able to justify your reasons, so brilliantly. We know that you have stuff up there, but not that, okay, they are giving you an idea or your boss is making a suggestion and then you say no. Okay, why? You're just blank and bland. You have absolutely nothing to add to your, to the point that you raised. So, and this is very critical. We're looking for people that are creative, and this is one of the reasons why when you go for an interview or you're pitching to a client, even as an entrepreneur, you would be asked the question, why should we give you this job? Why should we trust you with this contract? Why should we hand over this to you? We want to have an idea of what your critical skills are. We want to have an idea of the milestones you've achieved. We want to know a bit about you beyond what you've written to us on paper, and it's from the conversation we have with you that we are able to pick what exactly you can do. Critical thinking, I've kind of mentioned it before. You need to be able to think beyond the whole black and white, everything is in a box kind of thing. We want people that will want to work on a project. We want to build a team of people that would say, okay, that would think of everything that could go wrong on that project. We're not looking for people that will just meet expectations. So while preparing for the future of work, you need to prepare yourself to exceed expectations, not to meet expectations, not just to meet. Any graduate can try as much as possible to meet expectations, but we want people that will exceed expectations. And we're not saying you have to bend over the back. You just need to do one thing that is exceptional. Then leadership. I don't even have much time to go. I don't have enough time to go into this, because the reason why a lot of businesses are not sustainable, the reason why a lot of organizations are not able to scale the hurdle beyond a certain bracket number of years is because there is no leadership skill in place. And I always say that the fact that you are the one that conceptualized the dream, the fact that you are the one that was, that slept in his or her dream, and then the angels just dumped that idea in your head, the fact that you bursted the idea does not mean that you are adequate. You are adequate to be the one to manage it. So it is why people will always, it is why a lot of organizations will still keep looking for people that exhibit leadership traits. You don't need to have you might not have every single core attributes of leadership, but do you at least know something about leadership? Do you know what you're expected to do as a leader? Do you understand the concept of conflict resolution? Can you manage a team? If you're in a team, can you work with a team? So these things and many more are skills that we'll be looking out for. And then I put a diagram there: social intelligence, sense making, cross-cultural competency, new media literacy, and a lot of other things that are there. I mean, this was from last year anyway, but I just started to bring skills from last year and skills for 2021 together. Then how can you maximize your quality for digital workspace? One, you need to reskill. Reskilling is very important. Reskilling, maybe you already have a skill, you can do something. Okay, you're doing something, but maybe what you're doing is not exactly in your area of strength. Can you think of your area of strength and build on it and enhance your capacity around it? To upskilling what you already know. So you're a website developer and you don't know beyond developing a website. People they are looking for people that will develop softwares now. And the truth is, a lot of tools are in place that people can just go on they can use certain templates to develop their own websites themselves. So if people that are not tech savvy at that point, and you are limiting yourself to website designing, it means that at some point you're going to wake up and you're not going to have jobs again. You're not going to have clients to work with anymore. So you need to upskill. Don't just stick as, okay, I started making clothes since 1852, and yes, even in my village they know I am the best tailor in the whole world, blah blah blah. Excuse me, gone are the days when people were wearing all those clothes with shoulder pads. Now people are making please, TechnoSpark, please, TechnoSpark 4, please stop distracting us. Please just press that mute, leave it on permanent mute, ma or sir, please. I'm a small girl, I'm just a small teacher. The moment you distract me like this, I'll forget everything I'm talking about. Thank you. Okay, so like I was saying, upskilling, very very important. What you know, improve on it. Then now let's talk about character and attitude. It is not enough that you are very good at what you do. If you're very good at what you do and you have a terrible attitude to work, or you have a terrible character to the people you work with or to clients and all of that, nobody's going to come back to you. And we're in the era where customer is actually king. If they want to make a purchase from your company, if they want to make any buying decisions, the first thing they do is they go online and they start searching for feedbacks. They start looking at reviews, testimonials, and all of that. And the moment it pops up that, oh, she has a laid back attitude to work, she has a terrible character and all of that, nobody wants to come back to you. Nobody is even looking at you twice. And in case you did not know this, the next time you go for an interview and they throw you a chair to sit down in, the first thing you should do is you walk in, greet, and ask before you take the seat. But the moment you just barge in like you own the place and then you drag the chair and you sit it, you just sit on it, we just conclude, okay, we are about to hire our boss. That, like body languages, like I was saying earlier, beyond trying to get to know you, body languages and all of that, people take into cognizance of these things when you're being interviewed or for a job, a project, a contract, and all of that. So it's very key to maintain a top-notch attitude. Even if you're a religious person, grace will take you to where you want to go, but it is your attitude or your character that will sustain you at that peak. Then adaptability to corporate culture, I mentioned that earlier. You need to be able to adapt to the corporate culture of an organization where you find yourself, or of an industry where you're working. And social capital, one of the things that have helped me this far is the fact that a very important person taught me the power of network, the power of relationships. So networking, friendliness, group dynamics, you cannot throw those under the carpet. You need to network, you need to be nice, you need to be friendly with people. And there are people that have gotten to the level where if they need to get jobs, if they are looking to go bigger, they just spread the word within their colleagues to say, look, I'm looking to make a switch from here to there. And by the time they put in the word, you just see that people are trying to poach you, headhunt you and all of that. Then never underestimate competition. When we're talking about competition, I'm not saying start being mean or start scowling at people that are dragging the same thing as you. What I'm saying is, one, you need to first understand that competition is inevitable. You will find yourself in situations where maybe you're in an organization and your best friend is vying for the same position as you, or you're in an association and you're dragging the same thing with somebody really close to you. It's just normal human nature to always want more. So you're not the only one that wants more. So one, understand that you're in competition with yourself, and if you understand that you're in competition with yourself and it is okay for people to always want the kind of things that you want, it will help you to enhance your capacity with regards to what you're doing. And words on marble, no matter what the innovations in the world are, some core values and insights will remain as factors for success. So that's a food for thought. I'll leave you with that. And then briefly on evolution of careers, we all know that different roles have changed. We have engineers in their life, that in their whole life they have never carried any tool, because all they do is software based. And years ago, accounting was limited to carrying a ledger, a balance sheet, and carrying a pen, a green pen, and whatnot. But now there are so many accounting softwares. So school has taught us a couple of basic things that we're not even using right now. I mean, I studied agronomy in school. I'm not even an agronomist. I have never worked in any agricultural sector since I graduated. So the basic things in school you'll be taught, but it is up to you to know the software and the tools that are relevant with the career path that you want to pursue. So this is basically saying, don't don't be complacent. Don't be complacent. Don't say because you started off a certain way, it has to be like that. You need to constantly keep moving up. And the future of work is defined by some major trends, and the first one is the growing adoption of technology. So you need to know how technology is affecting your role right now. For instance, if you're a business development person, how can technology make you do your job better? How can it enhance your career? Do your research. Think of these things. And the second part is, it's changing the physical distribution of workforce. A lot of organizations now, they work remotely. People are working remotely and they are delivering excellently well. So the sad part is, remote work is not sweet. A lot of people think that remote work is the easy get out from going to the office every day. The only difference is you are not driving to work, you are not entering a bus and all of that. But there are tools now that are in place that if they install it in your system, whatever you are using your screen time to do, and they will be tracking your tasks as well. So you need to understand that you should position yourself in such a way that technology is not out of your career development, and as well you are in a position where you can function remotely, do your job effectively and still be productive. And then you need to understand the diverse needs of your industry. With the revolution of technology, the needs of various industries are changing. Now we have virtual MCs, now we have virtual event planners and all of that. Then expand your geographic footprint. Stop thinking local, think global. Don't say because anyway, me now na Kwara State I dey, all the offices, all the companies for Kwara State they still dey carry files, still dey. Please, there will be a day that maybe, except you're not willing to go as high as you should, but what if for some reason there's change in leadership in whatever organization you think you're even working in a remote area, and then they just switch things up and you realize that we can't even function with with the old revolution of technology in your own workplace and all of that. Please think global, think beyond your present geographic area. And then, as much as we're looking at future of work and all that, can we still try to maintain culture and connection? Before, if we had to do stuff, work events, corporate events, we'll do them physically, but now we do them virtually. And it's still good to know that while we do a lot of things virtually, conferences, people still infuse some touches such that it feels real. Please, let's not lose our humanity in the future of work. Let's still maintain the culture and connection, and develop your capacity to meet the required skills in the future workplace. I have said that before. So, and this is my bonus slide for you. I think it's leveraging social media for your career growth. For me, I'm very keen on building your personal brand. When COVID hit and all of that, and a lot of people lost their jobs, that was when people started finding their superhuman capacities and abilities. Don't wait until a disaster strikes before you think of backup plans and several backup plans and ways that you can also enhance yourself. Your social media, how are you making use of it right now? Are you using it to troll people all over the place? Are you using it to position yourself like an unserious person, such that if they are looking at list of people that are unserious, your name will fall to like maybe top 50 thereabout? So you need to create a professional presence on social media, and one of the platforms that you can use to do that, LinkedIn, is very good. You want to be taken seriously and you're looking to position yourself amidst people that will consider you for professional opportunities and all that. LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there are a lot of, depending on what you want to pass across. And I always say this: if you're a business development person, can you try your possible best to build and position yourself as a subject matter expert? Can you try to position yourself as a subject matter expert? Imagine you've worked in an industry for the past 10 years and you write it on your resume, I have experience, over 10 to 13 years experience, and you cannot position yourself in a place where they are looking for people to speak on business development. They are looking for people to talk, to give practical case studies around business development, but we can't find you. Nobody's calling your name because we don't even know that you exist. So can you please position yourself? Enough of all these coaches that are just springing up from nowhere, that actually have no idea, they have no practical idea about what they are even teaching. So we need more people within the workspace to come out and share their thoughts on topic around their industry area. Follow industry leaders and innovative thinkers. Read content relating to your field. Reading is how we all develop. And finally, implement what you're learning. If I didn't have to run off somewhere, this social media issue, I would have sat on it for a while, but I have to quickly run through it so that we can take questions. And finally, I hope I don't have a surprise bonus slide somewhere again. So so in conclusion, in the future of work, the challenge is employability, not employment, not unemployment. The challenge is that a lot of people are not employable. Even before pandemic hit. It was a struggle for people to keep efficient and effective team members. It was difficult for people to get consultants that are very efficient and effective. It was difficult for people to get vendors, business owners that are actually professional and know what they are doing. And now that we are in the future of work, and trust me, we are still gonna go way ahead. It will get to a point where we're going to have robots all over offices, just going all over the place. And my question is, are you employable in the future of work? Will you be employable if the transformation becomes more complex than this? Or you just say, abeg, it looks like this whole thing is meant for some people that don't exist in the world. No, the future of work is not for aliens. It's for you and I, and we need to be prepared for that. Is your skill upgraded to be relevant in that future of work? And are you scaling and adapting to the changes in your industry, or sitting in the complacency zone? And finally, what will you do differently after now? Will you do the same thing that, okay, yeah, you go to a fantastic seminar, somebody is speaking so well, and you go back home and, yeah, well, it just ends like that? And you have a challenge that somebody has already spoken to. Somebody spoke to it at a conference that you attended, but because you're not implementing, because you're not going over the notes, because you're not trying to effect what you've been taught, then you just find out that you're stuck, and then you say, this Nigeria safe, nobody is mentoring anybody, everybody is just stingy. This is a training, this is a coaching session, this is a mentorship session. It is anything you want it to be. It depends on what you do with the information that you have gotten from this. And finally, my name is Busayo Adegoke. Like I said, I teach, I coach, I consult, I manage businesses and projects. You want to connect with me on Instagram, that's my Instagram address. If you want to send me a mail, whatever. So thank you very much, Marble Brand Concepts, GAIN Business Incubator, and that's my final submission. So if you have any questions in the next 5 minutes at most, I can quickly take them. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you. I'm taking questions now. Sorry, hold on.